All right, so here's this new camcorder I just got. Um, I've honestly not opened the box until just now. So, what? Um, but anyway, you can pause if you want to read what's on the box. I'll show you this side. I'll show you that side. Now I'll show you this side. And then that side. Apparently it's Canon Connect station. I'm gonna have to look up, see what that is. So we'll get into it. Registration card, owner's manual, there's the battery, charger, or at least part of it, I'm not sure yet. Is that a USB cable? Something. Here's the actual camcorders or anything else underneath it. I'm gonna slide it out. Alright, before I do anything with the camcorder itself, I'm gonna go through the manual just to make sure I don't miss anything. Alright, so I've got everything unwrapped, and with this camcorder, the battery can be charged while it's on the camcorder, like kind of like you plug in a phone to charge it. So you just plug the whole thing in. I kind of like that. I've had to deal with cameras before where you had to take the battery out and put it into the charger, which I thought was a bit annoying. And I also like the fact that it has a user removable battery as well. It seems like a lot of devices these days don't. So this one does. And it does come with a USB cable. It's not that long, but if you're plugging it into a laptop, or if you have one of those all-in-one computers, it's probably long enough. If it's not, then a USB hub will probably do the trick. And thankfully the USB cable is a standard mini USB, so it wouldn't be that hard to just get a longer cable if you needed a longer cable. So thank you, Canon, for including a USB cable, because you know, it's like, I mean, it's nice that they're like universal and all that. That's a good thing, but on the other hand, it seems like so many things leave out something that almost everybody who uses the device ends up needing. So, okay, I don't want this to turn into a device rant. So, anyway, now let's see if the battery came with any charge. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So, let's see. Nope. But that's okay. Alright, so I've got it plugged in. And, hello, Christy. Alright, so I'm going to power the camera up and move the cat. Alright, so I've got it plugged in. It said in the manual that charging will start when the camcorder is turned off. So, yeah, I guess that means it can't charge the battery and run the camcorder at the same time. But since the battery's on the camcorder, as soon as you turn it off and you're done shooting, while it's still plugged in, it'll keep charging again. So, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and select English and move the cat. It's a touch screen for like other functions beyond what the buttons are. So, oops, let me shut that. All right. So it's a touchscreen for functions other than start and stop recording, the power button, the zoom, and the and also selecting the play mode as well. So anyway, one thing that kind of bugged me about using my phone to record is trying to like navigate zooming in or out, as opposed to focusing on something. Whereas with this, even though some other advanced functions will still be touchscreen based, the basic functions, zoom will still be separate from white balance and focus. So I won't like try to do the pinch to zoom thing or spread fingers to zoom and accidentally hit one before the other, and like it's kind of in the, like if I'm trying to catch something specific kind of quickly, might be easy to do the wrong thing on a touch screen. So anyway, okay, record media. I put the SD card in off screen, so photos, I'll just put everything in the memory card. Oh, okay, so it's telling me, I guess it's just letting me review the settings in case I want to, in case, I don't know. Alright, so I guess there's not really much left to do except make a few test videos with the new camcorder and see how good it is. I am a minion. I am a minion coffee cup. Not being used as a coffee cup, but as an office supply storage container. I can see into your soul. Hi, I'm doing a selfie with this camcorder, and I can actually see what I'm doing because the LCD flips around and it points back at me, so I can see myself. I mean, it's a little awkward to stop and start recording when you're doing a selfie with this. But I mean, the screen flips around. What more do you say? So if your phone doesn't have a camera above the screen like this, you could take a selfie video or a selfie snapshot with this. So it is a little awkward hitting the record button on this, but hey, I mean, at least the screen flips around and can be pointed back at the selfie taker, right? Hi, kitty. What do you say about its low light performance? It's not perfect. It's not bad. Zoom doesn't make any noise that I can hear. So So you can tap the screen, being that it's a touchscreen, to autofocus on whatever. So I'm not sure if you can really tell, but okay, now I'm going to click on the manual. Now the minion. Now the wall behind him. So I'll go over here. There's my little kitty. Now I'll zoom back out and try to focus on the wall. Yeah. Not really a fair judgment because it's going to be seeing nice bright light here, and then out in the hall going to be kind of dark. So kind of an unbalanced lighting that's going to confuse pretty much most automatic anything. So yeah. And because my cat's in a good mood, I figured I'd throw in another selfie video just for the heck of it. For all you cat lovers out there. Alright, so now I'm checking the low light performance of the device. I have a small lantern pointed at the opposite wall of the room, but I shut off the overhead light, and although you can probably see it's a bit grainy, but I mean things still look like the right color. That's blue, that's yellow, and that's red, and the minion is of course yellow. You saw it in the regular room light video. And this is just with the camera set on auto. I didn't change any settings manually or anything like that, or select like night shot mode, which this camcorder didn't claim to have anything like that. So certainly doesn't have any lights built into it that would have come on automatically at this point. Now I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna see if the white balance will auto-correct if the light situation changes during the recording. Well, looks pretty good from what I can see on the screen. Well, looks pretty good from the LCD. I'll probably get a better idea once I've got it on my computer or something, but I mean, it seems to have auto-corrected just fine. I'll go back to dark again. Okay, still, now it seems like it's staying kind of bluish, but well, that's not bad. I'll have to experiment with some of the scene modes, and well, I'll follow up with another video review later on once I've actually dealt with this for a while and made some actual videos with this other than just tests. Well, overall, I'm fairly impressed with it so far. And the zoom and focusing mechanisms are very, very quiet. You can barely hear them. Makes for good actual video recording. So, you know, when the camera has to autofocus, it's not going to sound like so your video is not going to end up sounding like a dot matrix printer. Nor does the sound like try to drop out to compensate for the noise it's making or anything. Like, you know, I've seen like some YouTube videos that'll like be like focus, and then the sound drops out. It's like the camera lowers the mic volume to try to compensate for the noise level, but then you can't hear anything. So yeah, one thing that it's fairly well made, especially the LCD turning around mechanism. The buttons feel pretty solid to me. The chassis itself is fairly solid, and the battery doesn't like rattle in its holder. It's pretty firmly in there, and yet as firmly in there as it is, it's not that hard to take it out either. Although it doesn't have an automatic powered lens cover, it does have a lens cover built into it. It's basically just this little thing right here. You just slide that little switch up, and those little shutters pop up and down. So I like that. Funnily enough, even though, as you saw in the low light video tests, the camera was definitely able to pick up something in that room lighting, but when I turned the camcorder on in that lighting environment, it asked me to check if the lens cover was open. So yeah, that was kind of funny, especially because I could see that there was something showing up on the camcorder screen when I powered it up. Yeah. Speaking of well made, one thing that actually drove me to get a Canon camcorder, although I did read some reviews as well, but this little guy right here has also been fairly has also been pretty durable as well. I even dropped it once while I was on a trip. The chassis like split open slightly across the side, and it wouldn't power up. And I was able to snap it back together in the field, but it still didn't power up. I forget which side it was on. I took it apart thinking I didn't have anything to lose. Turns out all that happened is a little connector knocked out of its socket, and all I had to do was push it back in, and it was just the connector to the actual buttons up here, which obviously includes the power button, which explains why it wouldn't turn on. So it wasn't like any major component was actually damaged. Yeah, so anyway, recommend it. If I'd recommend this guy if you want an actual camcorder. Canon does have some cheaper camcorder models if you're on a budget. Those probably won't be much better than what your phone can take, but those can of course be mounted on a tripod pod. So Canon does offer some lower end camcorders than this model, and the resolution probably won't be quite as good, and they may be lacking some features that this camcorder has, but you'll probably still be able to mount it on a tripod, whereas your phone almost certainly can't be mounted, at least not quite as reliably and universally as a camcorder. So anyway, I'd say the next thing I'm going to check is is how well it lives up to its claim of how long the video recording actually lasts on one battery charge. I've got a big enough SD card that I should be able to record longer than the battery on it, so I'll obviously turning the camcorder on and off and back on again will impact that, so I'll give it like probably about 20 to 30 minutes leeway in terms of how accurate the battery life is. So anyway, I'll do a more in-depth review of what I do and don't like once I've used the camcorder for a while, and I'll probably post a video or two between this and my follow-up review. So anyway, catch you next time.